Hi everyone, Diane here. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're going to enjoy today's video. I'm going to be painting today a autumn wreath with leaves and flowers and berries and so on. So let's jump right in. Here I have a Meeden palette which has 8 sections in it, and into there I have put some of my favourite colours from Michael Harding, which I'm going to use today. We have their quinacridone purple, we have perylene green, which is a very dark, powerful green. We have hooker's green and green gold here. And up the top, we've got benzimidazolone yellow, which I have recently learnt to pronounce. We have benzimidazolone orange, which is this one. Obviously, these are synthetic colours. And we have burnt sienna and gold, quinacridone gold. So those are the colours I'm going to limit myself to for this painting. I haven't put out any blues because I don't really associate blue with autumn anyway. So I've got a whole bunch of brushes here that I could choose from, but problem is most of us have too many, and you definitely don't need as many as most people have. So there's a thing. I know I show you new brushes when they come in, but I'm always thinking when I do that, I'm thinking of beginners, you know, and you only collect this kind of number of brushes if you're doing this professionally. Really, you don't, as an amateur, you don't need them. So here I've got a small and a medium Drawwell round synthetic brush. I've also picked up a Meeden Quill brush. May or may not use that, may not even use any of them. I've also got a little swatch set which I was sent from Meeden with small pieces of cold press watercolour paper in, which I find quite handy. I usually cut them for myself from a bigger sheet, but this saves a bit of time. So that's why I've got those. I'm going to test some colours on there probably. Actually, I'll put them down there. And I'm going to be using this pad of paper, which is a 9x12 cold press, 100% cotton, Meeden watercolour paper sheet. And it's glued all the way around because it's in a block so that you don't have any problems with curling, which has been a problem in the past but isn't anymore. I've got a saucer here to use. You could use anything that's round. And I'm just going to lightly draw around that saucer to construct the beginnings of this wreath. So there we have a nice circle. Hope you can see it. I'm now going to sit down, but the cat is on my seat behind me. Arthur, you're going to have to move. Thank you, there's a good boy. Right, now, I've got an example of a wreath in front of me, which I'm going to use as my model for setting it up. And what I'm going to suggest for my way of doing this is I'm going to indicate with a pencil where the different elements are going to be. So I think we're going to have some small roses. Okay, I'll just get my little eraser, my kneadable eraser from Faber-Castell. I expect all of you have got one of these. You put them back in after you use them for a bit and they get stuck to their box. So I'm going to put a rose up here. So I'm just going to indicate a circle for a rose. And then we need to put 3 more. So we'll put one over here. I'll rub out the line first before I put the circle in. This is because this is a wreath. I started off today thinking I'll do something really kind of random, you know, a kind of loose whatever. And I've ended up starting off on this. So, you know, you never can tell what's going to happen, and I don't know what's going to happen today with this painting either. So we'll put another rose or flower of some sort there. And then in between, we'll have some berries. So I'll just put 1 or 2 there. I'm not going to draw them all. We'll have a few more down here, just to give me an idea of where I'm going to be going, you know, because it's sometimes a bit tricky. So we want berries everywhere. And then in between, we're going to have leaves. Okay, we'll have leaves in between all of these sections. So I'm just kind of drawing an indication of leaves. And then there'll be bigger leaves and smaller leaves as well. So hopefully that will work. So What we can do, it depends what you think how you would like to do it. You can put in a kind of sort of what would you call it? A structure, a framework, a kind of branch sort of arrangement going all the way around the whole thing, or you can not do that. And I'm not quite sure what I want to do actually. I think I probably won't do that. I think I'll probably just start with the flowers. Yeah, I don't know, should we use this brush? I don't really know. Let's see, what colour shall we start with? This is quinacridone gold. And I want actually a sort of what would you call it? A pinkish kind of colour. I might not have enough, well, that will probably do. Might not have enough colours out, but we'll go with this. So we'll just do a kind of loose. This is not going to be in any way, shape or form, a botanical painting, as I always say. For people who are watching, if they are looking for botanicals, then this isn't the right place for botanicals. This is where we just relax, and once we get started, you can just, that's the hard thing about painting for leisure, is choosing your subject and getting started. I do find that is very difficult. But anyway, now the perylene green is a nice, when it's diluted a lot, which now I've got a problem because I've taken up all my space. La-di-da. Okay, when it's diluted, it's quite a nice kind of sage green, I think you would call that, and that was what I wanted for these leaves. So we'll try some of them. There might be a limit to the amount of talking I'm going to do today. So let's put our leaves on either side of the roses. I'm going round. I'll try not to put my ham fist into everything. It's possible that when this is done, it might demand some embellishments, you know, some ink work or some doodles or something. Not sure at the moment what's going to be the case, but it'll, yeah, well, we'll see. So now then I'm going to go to my yellow gold, green rather, green gold. And we'll put some leaves in of that colour, I think. Perhaps on the other side of the roses. Something like that, just as a starting point. And then I'm going to mix some orange with some quinacridone. So we've got some nice bright berries. And we'll put some some nice bright berries. In places. Each section, you know, if you call this 4 sections, is not necessarily meant to be identical at all. So we're not trying to kind of do 4 sections that are all the same. And then perhaps we might want then some darker green. This is Hooker's green. And I think probably we might want to mix that with a little bit of the gold green. And just wondering whether I should be using a slightly smaller brush. Maybe it would be easier if I did. And so we want to put some of these all the way around as well. I should probably put a stem and some veins on these leaves. Oops. Oh well. I won't try and correct that. It does definitely feel as if the autumn is coming on here. Almost felt like it could have been frosty this morning, but it's only September, so it shouldn't be. This does take quite a long time to do something like this. I think I'm going to add a few more flowers. I think I want something a bit more pinkish. I'm just going to take a pinky colour from my Kuretake set. put these little extra rose type things in. And maybe I'll go for some bright orangey flowers as well. Perhaps we'll just put some sort of like chrysanthemums. In. I'm going to try some bigger leaves now. So I think I'll just pick up some, I've got my Chinese, my quill brush from Meeden, and I'm going to try to do some looser leaves, and we'll put some quinacridone gold in there so we get some nice bleeds. And this will kind of take it out a little bit further because I was feeling a little bit cramped. Let's go around here. You do get really nice leaf shapes with these quill brushes, I have to admit. There's nothing better than a quill brush for a leaf. And I don't think it matters if you go over a little bit. It does matter if you go too dark. I'll put some dark ones up here too. And some really dark ones down here. And up here. This is, once you get started on this, it is kind of interesting because you do sort of feel like you're building something up. It's a bit tense at the beginning because you're not quite sure, especially if you're doing it on camera, you're not quite sure, you know, we might as well admit it, it's not always easy. And people recently have sort of been saying about doing lives and so on, and I'm not sure about that. I don't know if I'm capable of doing that. I think I get a little bit too anxious, you know. And I think I'm going to put in some purple. Perhaps with a little bit of red in it. There could be purple flowers, but think leaves are easier, don't you? I'm sort of thinking maybe I will put some more darker roses in, perhaps in the background where there's a little bit of a space. And we want one over here. I think we need some more leaves on this side coming out a bit further. And here. And I think we should have some berries, and I'm just wondering how to make them nice and dark. So I think it's going to have to be purple with green. Yeah, so we'll just put some dots of berries hither and thither in a really dark colour, because that kind of brings the other colours out, gives it a bit more perspective, I think. When you turn it round, you'll notice where you've got a gap or something like that. So I notice here there's room for a few more leaves coming out there, probably. Probably could do with using a little bit of yellow. I haven't used any of the yellow yet. Perhaps mix it with a bit of gold. Make it a bit richer. And I think we'll need, yeah, a few like this. Filling in the gaps. Because it is September, not October, when everything has died. Pretty much around here anyway. And I think we could probably use a little bit more of this dark green and the purple to put in some stems. So, for example, to join might be better to use a pen for joining the berries. Okay, well, I'm going to use this colour to put in the veins on the leaves. And just keep going round. And we will want a few more kind of sharp, straight, not straight, kind of crisp, that's the word, lines from time to time. Some of the bigger ones might want more veins on them, I suppose. Something like this would make a nice greetings card, I suppose, wouldn't it? For somebody with an autumn birthday. You can put a message on in the middle. And let's pick up a little bit of orange to put on these flowers to make them a little bit more interesting. And now chrysanthemums or dahlias or whatever they are here, make them darker. Oh yes, I was thinking about flowers. Tamsin has just put up on Patreon and on the for the members and for the members on YouTube some beautiful flower paintings, not paintings, photos, some beautiful roses that she's photographed in our garden for you to use as reference if you want to paint from life kind of thing. And in Patreon, they're all in a collection and you can find all of them easily because there are quite a lot from months gone by. She's trying to do this every month. And yeah, so they're there. They're not quite so easy to find on YouTube because they're not quite so organised on there, but they are there. Right, I'm going to stop there for a minute and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so there we are. I think that's finished now. I just came back and I made 1 or 2 editions of just a few little berries, and I think I'm quite happy with that for the purpose for which it's intended. I think it would be nice if you had a slogan or a motto or something like that on the inside. So something like this. I've just written out light and autumn candle, and you could put something like that in the middle, and you could indeed even do exactly that. You could use it as a surround for a candle, which I think is actually quite a nice idea. That's Tamsin's idea. Isn't that sweet? I like that. So there we are. I will let you go now. I'll put my light and autumn candle back in there. And I hope you enjoyed that. We were using Michael Harding paints, and I'll put a list of everything that I used in the description below this video so you can follow us up if you're interested in acquiring any of those materials. I think these paints made quite a pleasing colour combination for the autumn, don't you? Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I will let you go now. I'll see you again next week on Tuesday. I hope you have a lovely weekend and take care, everybody. Have fun and do lots of painting. Bye for now, everyone. Bye-bye.